Gloria Strode, and welcome to Straightforward. Today we are having a visit with our amazing coroner, Buddy Bryan, who is always in the community, working hard day and night, a thankless job, but we are so blessed to have Buddy and his team. They serve the community, but they serve with compassion and empathy for every single citizen. And welcome, my dear friend.
Well, thank you too, my dear friend.
I tell you, we haven't sat together in more than a year, and I said, I know you're busy because I see the news, and you and your team, you're working all day, all night. It's almost at a non-stop pace right now. But I wanted you to take the time to come and visit with us, update the community, because they see you on TV. They see where the Ledger covers you and all the TV stations, but they don't understand that there's a whole nother part of what you do that they don't see. You're amazing administrative support team. There's a lot of paperwork and things that happen behind the scenes after all of the tragic things that happen. So I want people, because you are an elected official, I want people to know that this is hard work. It's a thankless job, and in my opinion, humble opinion, which may or may not be true, I don't think we pay you enough for what you do. I know I couldn't do the job that you do, and you never sleep. So I want you to share with our viewers all of your wonderful team members, who's on the team, and all the things that you all are doing outside of what we see.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate that. It's very true. People think the coroner just goes out and pronounces the individual deceased. There's a whole lot behind the scenes that they don't realize. And we are up most nights with a homicide, suicide, and even just natural deaths. But manning the death certificates is a vitally important job, making sure the families get those in a timely manner so they can continue dealing with the death. And, you know, just being sincere, transparent, and
transparent and respect.
That makes a big difference in this position. And every one of my deputy coroners, I have 4 deputies, and I have a great administrative coordinator, do a fabulous job.
She's amazing.
Yeah, that's Malika Hampton.
She is amazing. If you call there, it's like I thought I was a part of that team. I could call whenever I want, but she's always courteous, professional, and very helpful. And I've visited with you in your office, and I've seen all of the books and the paperwork, because you told me you want to make sure that all the information, the death certificates are correct, that the families have what they need. You just go the extra mile, and I know that's not happening everywhere, but you have instilled that type of commitment to your leadership.
Well, Gloria, God is my pilot. He takes care of me, he takes care of my staff, and I pray at every case I go to. And
really?
I continue to pray for these families as they go through a traumatic death, or just a death where it's an elderly person.
Right.
You know, you pay respect to those and they respect you, and it makes a big difference.
And so that paperwork piece, all of those books and things, and Lord, I just don't see how she could do all wading through all of that. But you said that's very important, because you got insurance and funerals and burials, and people got to have what they got to have on the business side, even after you all have left the scene of whether it's a natural death or a tragic.
Correct.
Right.
And you know, experience is the teacher.
Okay.
You just can't come into this job and do a great job if you don't have some experience and knowledge.
Right.
Fortunately, I've been in the funeral business my whole life, 76 years old, and
but your family, you have a history.
I do.
Right,
Yes,
of people that work in this industry.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you started as a kid in the funeral home business.
14 years old. 76
Look,
now.
most people were cutting grass. You were at the funeral home working.
I was. I might have been driving the flower truck at that time.
No, but that's still a part of the business.
It's a part of the business.
Right.
It wasn't too long before I started embalming bodies.
Really?
I went to mortuary college after high school and got my license. So,
okay. And where did you go to mortuary? Here in Georgia, or?
Yeah, Georgia.
Okay.
It's Gupton Jones in Atlanta.
Okay. And so you did that. So they groomed you at an early age.
At an early age.
This is not something that you just decided to do because it was an elected position. You decided to do this because it was in line with what your life's work has been.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, and with families, it's who you trust that matters. And the citizens of Columbus have had the trust and confidence in me to keep me elected into this position. I'm halfway through my 4th term, which is a 4-year term. I'll be running again in 2028. And if my health is good and the citizens still want me, I'll be here to serve them.
And they'll renew your contract.
I certainly hope so.
Well, I've seen you even in my own subdivision. I was driving through one day and I saw you at one of my neighbor's house because she was always making sure people were not speeding, feeding the feral cats, which they they probably don't want you to do that, but she loved her community. She loved people. And I said, buddy, what are you doing over here? And you were like, and then I know of, because I've had people share with me that it was a tragic situation and that you and your team showed up. And even though the person who was deceased did not make some good choices,
Correct.
you and your team were very caring, loving, empathetic, patient, non-judgmental.
Non-judgmental.
Because that's not your job. You're not the judge and the jury.
No, ma'am.
You're there to assist the families and to take care of the deceased person.
Yes, ma'am.
And so your team, day and night, you all are working shifts.
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Okay. And you're working, but you're the boss, so you always working. Even on your day off, you can always get a call.
Absolutely. You know, they depend on me for guidance. We're well trained.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, we go to school every year to keep our certification.
Okay.
Find out what's new that we can do to make our job better.
Right.
And I think that's important. You can get too complacent.
I like that.
Yeah.
So every year y'all are going for additional continuing education.
Absolutely.
Because you can't get complacent because you might miss something.
Yeah, and it's a job that you've got to make the right decisions because it's direct reflection on the family and the outcome.
Right.
Had a death the other day. He was a young man, 48 years old, sudden death, and of course people were very upset.
Sure.
I understand that.
Absolutely.
So I explained to him the cause and manner of the death, and I felt very comfortable with it. And then I get home and I get a call from a former deputy coroner from Harris County. Called me and said, why didn't you send him up for an autopsy? Well, it wasn't necessary. I was able to determine the cause and manner of death without doing that. She said, well, everybody dies from a heart attack. I said, well, ma'am, he didn't die from a heart attack. He died from coronary insufficiency.
Right.
That's where he had a blockage in his right common carotid artery.
Right.
It stopped the blood from flowing to his brain.
Exactly.
And he died a peaceful death in his bed.
Right.
It wasn't a heart attack.
Exactly. So it's a difference.
There is a difference.
Right, and that's why people need to stay in their lane when they don't have all the information. What we're going to do is go to our first break to our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after word from some of our sponsors.
Straightforward is brought to you by State Senator Ed Harbison, serving the citizens of Georgia's 15th Senatorial District and on the front lines for veterans every day. Progressive Funeral Home, family owned and operated since 1952. The George Ford legacy of high standards continues today in the compassionate and professional services provided, a touch of dignity for those who care. Progressive Funeral Home, 4235 St. Mary's Road, trusted by generations. Whole Patient Healthcare. Dr. Jada Rimes-Bacote is board certified in family medicine. She believes the best patient care includes practical, individualized lifestyle changes. Located at 1338 13th Avenue, Columbus, 706-641-2080, or visit wholepatienthealthcare.com.
The state of Georgia averages 5 fatalities a day for motor vehicle crashes. Out of all 50 states, Georgia ranks 21st in impaired driving fatalities. Remember, buzz driving is impaired driving.
Be a team player, designated sober driver.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Greg Countryman. Make the right choice. The ball is in your hands. Stay sober and don't get pulled over.
And Welcome back to Straightforward. I'm enjoying this wonderful visit with my amazing friend, our wonderful Coroner Buddy Bryan, who has experience, compassion, commitment, dedication to this community. I'd like to say on your behalf, and you didn't ask me to say this, you're not trying to work your resume. It has already been worked. You're not trying to build a reputation. You have already done that. And before becoming the coroner, you had a long legacy of working in the funeral business. So this is not you coming from some other career just trying to jump in. So from 14 years old, you have been a part of working with those that have passed away.
Yes, ma'am.
And you learned from the ground up. And so when you decided to throw your hat in the ring and to run for coroner, which is your 4th term, you were bringing experience outside of politics.
Absolutely.
And so that's why when this person called you to question what your decision was on the manner of death, you were able to speak to that because you got all of this experience even prior to becoming an elected official.
Yeah, well, the first question she had, well, how did you determine that? I said, well, experience and knowledge.
Right.
You learn it in the streets. You don't learn it behind the desk.
Right,
or
practical.
Practical experience.
Because what we learn in theory, and I'm an old social worker, and what happens practical in real life is 2 different things. And so you've seen over and over and over, because how many calls are you all taking? Because you had to add a new staff person, because one year we interviewed and we needed more transportation to take all the bodies. We had so many deaths with murders and all of that to Atlanta, and you were taking people in the U-Haul truck. So then we finally got proper enough, I'm going to say, transportation for you for what you need to do. But you were like, no, I'm going to handle the deceased with respect.
Absolutely.
And you were taking them to Atlanta. And so that's a whole nother piece that the community don't know.
Well, they really don't. I have some great forensic drivers. They're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just like my deputies are.
Forensic drivers, and that's separate.
Yes.
That's a whole nother group of people that has to get up in the middle of the night.
That's correct.
When things happen.
Right.
Okay.
We transport 3 or 4 deceased person a week.
Really?
Up to the Decatur, to the GBI crime lab.
Really?
Well, homicides, if they're under 40, sudden unexplained death, if they died in a car wreck, we want to send them up to find out, well, did this person die from blunt force trauma because they hit the steering wheel, or did they have a medical issue that caused the death prior to
like maybe going a diabetic episode, or a stroke, and they just happen to be in the car when it happened.
Yes, ma'am, and it could make a big difference in insurance benefits. You know, if I determine that it's an accidental death, then it pays double indemnity.
Okay.
So if you got a $10,000 policy, it's accidental death, it's going to pay $20,000.
Okay.
Well, that means
see, that's important, people. We always want to educate and inform. So when you see our great friend Buddy doing things, and sometimes people don't put all the correct and fair, honest information out. There's a reason for that, and you're always trying to do what's best for the families.
If a family calls me and wants information, I'm going to be straight up forward with them. I'm not going to lie to them. You can count on that for sure.
Right.
And I'll provide them with any information, documentation that they need or want. We do subpoena medical records quite often.
Oh, so that's a part of all those other paperwork you're administering.
Exactly right. Yeah,
that's hard.
People don't realize that it's a background that brings you to today.
Okay.
You know, it's your grandmother, your grandfather, did they have cancer? Did they have heart issues? Did your mother and father have it?
Before you come to the final determination.
Absolutely.
For example, for me, heart disease runs in my family.
Correct.
And so you would be looking at that. If you showed up at my subdivision. Now, I don't want you to show up no time soon, because we still got work to do, me and you. But I'm just saying that is something you would be looking at, and that is something a part of my family medical history.
Correct.
Okay.
Medications. We go into a house, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hug the legal next of kin, whether it's a man or a lady. I'm going to let them know that I'm sorry to have to be here this afternoon.
Really?
I'm sorry to have to be here this morning. Absolutely.
That's why everybody, but somebody told me that about you. And it was a bad situation that involved their child. And they said, Mr. Buddy, he was so nice to us. And people will offer that even without asking, don't even know you and didn't know that I knew you like I did. So that we know that's an honest feedback. So you're going to do that. You're going to embrace them, and then
Yes,
you're going to
ma'am.
move on to the business.
And then I'm going to be direct with them. I'm going to ask the proper questions. I'm going to look at the medications, and then we'll make a determination. I don't rush into it by any means.
Okay. It's thoughtful, the process.
Yes, and if I have to take 2-3 weeks to determine the actual manner and cause of death, I'm going to take that time so I can peel back the onion and find out.
And that's important because sometimes even with elderly people, and I've learned this being a part of the accountability courts advisory group, with all of these different medications, and for some that live alone, and they might be forgetful and taking too many.
Yep.
I've heard of that, where they forgot that they already took this, and then they got arthritis, and they got that, they got heart disease, they got diabetes. It can happen.
It can happen.
Not intentionally.
No, ma'am.
But it can happen.
Had one just the other day.
Okay. See, I didn't know that, but I heard that in one of my meetings. It's like, no, this can happen. So when people say they don't need Narcan or they don't need that, they don't know that they do need it.
Yes, ma'am.
Because the seniors, they are forgetful sometimes, and they can take the pills too close together.
They can. We do a pill count. If I find 8 different prescription bottles with pills in them, I'm going to pour them out and I'm going to count them. I'm going to look at the date. I'm going to look how they were prescribed, and then that'll help me determine if they're
Over-medicated.
Yeah,
Really?
if they're complacent with their medication, and a lot of people aren't.
Really?
Absolutely.
I didn't know you did all of that. See, I think some of us, even myself, and I try to read and be up to date on things, I just thought you come in, you speak to the family, you take the person, handle them with care, prepare them to take them out of the home.
Right.
But before you leave, you're looking at everything.
Looking at everything, and we stay with the remains. We do not leave them just laying there on the bed or on the sofa or whatever. We stay until the funeral home arrives and makes the removal.
Really?
That's respect. That's
It
what
is
that
respect.
And the
But
body,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the
I
body
didn't know
actually
that.
belongs to us.
Okay, so you have custody of the
Have
body.
custody of the body.
Okay, not the police department.
Not the police department.
See, we don't know what we don't know, people. And I've been sitting with my great friend for a few years now interviewing, and today I just learned something again. So the police is not in charge of have custody of the body. The coroner is in charge of the remains until the funeral home, and you release the
I release
release
it.
to the
That's
funeral
correct.
home. Isn't that something? You can always learn something. What we're going to do, my friend, we're going to take our break, go to our
Okay.
sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Thank
We'll
you.
be right back after word from some of our sponsors.
Even at lower speeds, a crash between a bicyclist and motor vehicle can cause broken bones and traumatic brain injuries. Busy intersections are particularly dangerous for cyclists. Wear a helmet, stop at red lights, use hand signals, yield to pedestrians. Bike safe, bike smart.
Paid for with grant funds from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
New Horizons Behavioral Health, building better lives in the Chattahoochee Valley, providing services to persons with mental illness, developmental disabilities, and addictive diseases. Located in the Health and Human Services Building, 2100 Comer Avenue, Columbus, or call 706-596-5500. Barbara's Cleaning Service, a 5-star commercial service with satisfied customers in Georgia and South Carolina, built on the principle that every detail matters. Barbara's Cleaning Service, a new season building a family legacy. Charmaine Crabb, Associate Broker of Champions Realty. Charmaine's greatest reward is helping families achieve home ownership, which is a cornerstone of the American dream. Call Charmaine today at 706-392-6116 or visit championsrealty.com.
And welcome back to Straightforward. I'm visiting with my fantastic friend, Coroner Buddy Bryan. He is a hard worker for the citizens of Muscogee County. His team is phenomenal. His administrative leadership, they're doing work that we never even knew about. And as many times as I have been with Buddy, sat with him for interviews, and just spoken with him casually, today I learned something new. We always want to educate and inform on straightforward. That's one of our main missions. You just said to me, and we were in a sidebar when we went to the break, on Title 45. I want you to explain to our viewers what Title 45 is, because all this time I thought when something happened, the police show up. If it's a death, they were in charge. They're not in charge. The coroner's office is in charge. And you have your authority per Title 45.
That's correct.
Okay, share that with us.
Well, Title 45 was set up through the, of course, higher-ups in the legislature and the senators and the president and everybody else, and it strictly governs the coroners.
Okay.
And it's our outline as to what we go by.
Okay, it's your standard operating procedures
Absolutely.
and rules and regulations.
That's correct.
Okay.
And it's a violation of the law if they're abused.
Okay.
Not only by the coroner,
Yes.
but also by the police officers, the detectives.
Law enforcement or
That's correct.
whoever shows up.
Right. Title 45 simply states that only the coroner can manipulate the body. Manipulate meaning to touch it.
Okay.
And it's our body until we release it.
Okay.
And I've had instances where it was violated, and I've given them forewarning, and they don't do it again. Once I get on you, they realize, Mr. Buddy.
Mr. Buddy, take it to the woodshed.
business.
Right,
Absolutely.
right. Because you believe in respecting the remains and respecting the family.
Absolutely.
And you're not trying to deter anybody from doing their job. He's not saying that. But we have to follow policy and procedures to protect the integrity, not just of the crime scene or the death environment, but respectful to the corpse.
Absolutely. That's the most important thing to me. It would be what the family expected. And, you know, the African American community and Caucasian, Asian, they all love me.
Oh, they
and
do.
I love them. And
Right.
because they realize I'm true to earth, transparent, and respect and dignity.
For everybody.
For everybody.
Regardless of their race, color, creed, or religion.
Or zip code.
Or zip code. Because I
Absolutely.
already heard about you being in a place over in my old community, and they told me how you showed up and, you know, and how nice you were, and you had actually been to that person's house who I've known from a child twice for two of their sons. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
And one died on the tennis court.
Yes, ma'am.
Down at playing tennis.
And I remember it very well.
Exactly, and then the other one, you know, was actually found dead in his car. But you were very respectful, and it's like very compassionate. Not just where some people have a poor bedside manner. Well, cavalier. You're not cavalier at all. You go the extra mile. And then you're going to stay with them as long as you need to stay with them. And your team is trained that way too.
Absolutely.
Because we've had fabulous Elizabeth here, and she's that same way. And she's been at scenes where she actually had blood on her clothes.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
You know, because she's hugging the mother,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
know. And so you have trained them, and you all follow Title 45.
That's
If you
correct.
want to check it out, go Google it.
Yeah, Title 45. It's our governing rules and regulations that we go by.
Okay.
And even the GBI Crime Lab, they have their criteria as far as what they will accept and what they won't accept when it's time to call in a case.
Okay.
And we have a lot of questions they'll throw at us, and we have to know the answers to those questions. Did they drink alcohol? Did they smoke dope? You know, social habits, things of that nature. What kind of medication were they on? And you get all that background before you ever call them.
Really?
And they are the ones that make the decision whether we send them up or not the coroner.
Oh, okay, people. Well, we just learned one more thing. So based on the information that you gather that's required by the GBI Crime Lab, once you go through their checklist, what they require you
Correct.
to do, then they decide whether or not you should transport
That's correct.
the remains to their lab.
Yes.
And I really admire your commitment I want to let you know that I personally support you 100%. I have seen your work.
Yes, ma'am.
I have heard from other people that you didn't even know that I knew them from on the south side. I've seen you in my own subdivision because I rolled my window down and said something to you at my German friend's house. And I've seen you on the north side. And every time I've seen you or your team, you are treating all the citizens with respect, dignity, and trying to do the best job you can for the community.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to thank you for that, because you won't get rich doing this job.
No, ma'am.
You won't buy a yacht, buddy. You won't buy. You might can ride on a boat, but you
I
won't be
can ride.
buying the yacht.
Yes, ma'am.
But I just want to thank you for taking time. I know we've had a lot of tragic things going on with our young African Americans with gun violence. Here we just seem to just be in this cycle right now. So I know you've not had a lot of sleep, but I want to thank you for taking time to come and share with our viewers. Again, you're an elected official.
Yes.
And you will be up for re-election in 2028.
Correct.
But I think it's important that we put information out, honest information, not yellow journalism, honest information about the wonderful jobs that people do. And if you don't do a good job, or I hear something, I'm gonna call you and say, buddy, I heard, and I'm gonna give you the opportunity to tell me, no, that it was a misunderstanding, or they didn't understand the process.
Right.
I think we got to start doing more of that. And we don't have to agree on everything, but we need to learn how to respect each other.
Yeah, and I want to say what a wonderful sheriff we have. Great
Yes,
countryman.
he does a great
has
job.
A great job. Stoney, he's on top of things, and they work together.
Right.
It makes a big difference. We've only had 9 homicides this year.
Okay.
Now, we're more than halfway through the year.
Okay.
When I was first elected, we had 26.
Right.
About 4 years ago, we had 72.
I remember when you needed the U-Haul truck.
Absolutely.
Right.
So they are doing a great job. I want the citizens to know that and have respect for them, because that's all they are.
And you all have to collaborate. Yeah.
Yes, we do.
And you all do a good job with doing that.
Yes, ma'am.
And I just want the community to know that it's not a joy for you to go out and have to pick up 11-year-olds, 17, 20-year-olds, and look their mothers in the face.
Well, it's not. That's probably the hardest part of the job, is notifying the legal next of kin of a death. It's knocking on the door at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and informing them that their child was dead, their sister, their mother, their brother, or whatever.
It's tough.
It's tough, but God's my pilot, and I told you that earlier.
You did. You always have said that, and but this is a calling for you.
It is a calling.
It is.
I've never dreamed about death.
Right.
As long as I've been in the business, 62-something years, I've never dreamed about death. Now, that's only God's work. That's nobody else's work.
Exactly. Well, thank you, my dear friend,
You're
for
welcome.
coming, and we will certainly do this again. Just know when you're out there on the street, I'm praying for you. I want to keep
And
you
I
safe.
thank you.
Absolutely, and we support you 100%.
Thank you. I
All right.
appreciate it.
This has been straightforward. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. Until next time, be blessed.
What up, world? What's up, Columbus? Be sure to tune in every Sunday, Straightforward with Gloria Strode, right here on NBC 38.